Okay, garden harvest for today are green beans. We got 3.38 pounds of green beans. Our Roma tomatoes, this section right here from this table right here is what we picked today. And we got 15.05 pounds of Roma tomatoes. Cucumbers, 1.01 pounds. Picked an eggplant we're going to have for lunch today, 1.09 pounds. I'm all in the way. Let me move over here. Okay, peas. This is actually, the peas have just started to come in, so we've been picking a little bit here and there for the past few days. But this is all the peas we've picked so far this year, and this is 2.46. Finally got enough together to have a good mess, so we're going to have these for lunch today. Squash, 1.03 pounds. Tomatoes, ouch. From here up are the tomatoes we picked today, 1.37 pounds. And we found a green tomato that had fallen off the plant, found a green tomato on the ground. It's 0.44 pounds. So I'm going to fry him up when we fry the eggplant today. And that's what we picked from the garden today. So for lunch, we are going to have fresh pink-eye purple hull peas, the first of the season, fried eggplant, and green beans. And that will be today's meal. That's it. Oh, and today's project, we're going to put up the rest of these Roma tomatoes. Or probably today we're going to put up from here over. And then tomorrow we'll do this next chunk. And that's our projects for today. All right, thanks for watching. It is Tuesday, June 27th. And this is today's meal. We only eat one meal a day. We don't eat breakfast and we don't eat supper, so we just have a big midday meal. And everything on today's plate is straight from the garden. This is our first picking of our pink-eyed purple hull peas, and fried eggplant, fried tomato, green beans, and Swiss chard, all straight out of the garden. Thanks for watching. Okay, these 2 rows of corn, we have picked all the corn. We've already picked all the corn, so now we are pulling these stalks, and we take the stalks and chop them up into, I don't know, little 3-inch, 4-inch chunks, and put this in with the chickens and let them eat on this. So that's today's project, pulling the corn, getting it ready for the chickens to nibble on, and then we're going to replant these rows. Thanks. Okay, so we went through and pulled out all the corn. We've pulled all the stalks. We have them in the chicken run, and Alan is still cutting them up so the chickens can peck on them and kick them around and eat on them and do fun chicken things with it. So he's doing that, and I'm going to go through and weed this out really well now. And then we're going to plant, I believe we've decided we're going to plant more pink-eyed purple hull peas. So I am going to weed this out really well, and then I'll come back and show you what it looks like after weeding. Okay, this is today's harvest from the garden. We got 0.25 pounds of cucumbers, 1 eggplant, that's 1.1 pound. The okra's just starting to come in, 0.04 on okra. The tequila sunrise peppers, 0.15 pounds. The jalapeno peppers, 0.23. I put them over there on that table with the other tomatoes, but we picked 5.53 pounds of Better Boy tomatoes. Cabbage, we picked a bunch of little tiny heads of cabbage, 4.65 pounds of cabbage. And corn, that is 1.08 pounds of corn. So today for lunch we're going to have the squash that we picked yesterday. So we're going to have stewed squash, fried eggplant, and I'm going to make some coleslaw with this cabbage. So today's lunch will be coleslaw with cabbage from the garden, fried eggplant from the garden, and squash from the garden. And I'll show you that when we get it finished. Thanks for watching. Okay, so for today's lunch we have stewed squash. And I used squash from the garden, peppers and onions from the garden, and also we found a little ear of corn in that corn that we pulled today that we missed. So I just cut it off the cob and put it in here with the squash. So we're having stewed squash with peppers and onions, and a little bit of corn in it. We're frying one of the eggplants we picked this morning, or the eggplant we picked this morning. So stewed squash, fried eggplant, and this is coleslaw made from some of the cabbage we picked this morning. And the coleslaw has cabbage, carrots that we had in the refrigerator that we picked from the garden earlier, peppers that we picked from the garden, onions that we picked from the garden, and we like some raw cut off the cob corn in the coleslaw. We found out that's really good, so we picked a few ears off those rows that were blown down, and they're fine. They're still a little young, but cut off the cob, they're delicious. So put it in with the coleslaw. So that's lunch, or that's our meal for the day. We have coleslaw, fried eggplant, and stewed squash. And all of this is straight from the garden. I'm trying to think of anything. Used a little coconut oil to to stew the squash. Used coconut oil and some flour to fry the eggplant. And a little lemon juice, a little vinegar, and the coleslaw. But everything else straight from the garden. Alright, thanks for watching. Okay, it's Thursday, June 29th. And what we harvested today is on this chunk of the table over. And let's see, green beans, we got 3.24 pounds of green beans. Cucumbers, 1.95 pounds of cucumbers. Okra's just starting to trickle in, 0.06 pounds of okra. We got 1.4 pounds of pink-eye purple peas. Squash, 0.28 pounds. The Better Boy tomatoes we grouped with the others. So Better Boys, we got 0.89 pounds of Better Boys. I think we only picked like 2 today to add to the others. And our Romas, we got 5.95. So the Roma tomatoes are really starting to slow down, and the green beans are starting to slow down. So I have to make some decisions about what to do with those pretty soon. But this is our harvest for today. And for today's lunch, we're going to have green beans. We still have some squash in the refrigerator, so green beans, squash, and maybe some peas. We'll see. All right, thanks for watching. Today's lunch is green beans, stewed squash, and purple whole peas. Thanks. Okay, these are those 2 rows that we just pulled the corn stalks, and we weeded them out, cleaned them up, and we have planted pink-eye purple hull peas in them now. So just waiting on them to come up. Hopefully we'll have 2 good rows of peas. Alright, thanks for watching. Okay, this is Friday, June 30th, and our meal today is fried catfish from our pond, homemade coleslaw from our garden, and a homemade vegetable soup with everything in it straight from the garden. So kind of an interesting blend for lunch today, but fried catfish, homemade coleslaw, and homemade vegetable soup. Thanks for watching.